Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to season 2 of Pronoun TV and the Stephanie Stevens Show. Thank you guys so much for the second season. I'm just blessed that we got this far, and so many of you are interested in the show. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to all the people on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter that made this happen. And thank you to all of my guests who didn't know me and trusted me with their stories. Thank you. Starting off the second season, we have the incredible Mr. Charlie Keeney?
Dale or Koenig.
Oh, Dale Keenan. And
Koenig. It's Koenig.
Conan. Okay, Charlie Dale Conan. And he was on the first season of my show, and we talked about books. We talked about, he was an author, and he talked about his life a little bit, being from the Southern Baptist Church. This time around, we caught up with Charlie again, and we wanted to know what was happening now. So apparently, he's found love again. His partner has just passed away, who he was taken care of in hospice in his home. And we're going to ask him a little bit about that and the fact of, in the LGBTQ two-spirit pronoun community, we don't talk a lot about death or mortality, which we all have to face at some point in our lives. But tonight, me and Charlie, we talked a little bit about it. So we're going to discuss the passing of his longtime partner. And we're going to talk about the Baptist Church. We're going to talk about what he's doing now and the fact that he found love again. And so I just want to say, welcome to season 2, Charlie.
Thank you. I'm honored to be the first of season 2.
Well, yeah, okay. We're going to line it up. So we'll see how it all falls into place. We have 150 shows to do between now and September.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah, I know. We're blessed. I'm blessed just to have met you and the fact that you stuck around and the fact that you trust me with your stories and conversation. I'm blessed. So thank you, sir.
Well, thank you.
Now, I want to just let me get your name right. Charlie Dale
Koenig.
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 Okay. Now, where are you actually from?
We live in a small town named Canal Fulton. It's about 10 minutes away from Canton and the Football Hall of Fame. It's a small suburb,
Mm-hmm.
and that is about 40 minutes south of Cleveland.
Okay, I can hardly hear you. So
I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's okay. So let's talk. First of all, how do you identify? She always tells me I forget to ask that, so I'm gonna make sure I get that out of the way first.
Well, gay, and I have for a long time. Like yourself, I'm a long time professional drag queen.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I am comfortable with she or her or they or them. I haven't really sat with pronouns yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very fluid. So I'm open to whatever you call me. And as my grandma used to say, as long as you call me, I don't care.
Okay, so what I want to talk about today is a couple of things. I want to talk about the fact that your partner of how many years?
18.
18 years has just passed away, and you took care of him in hospice in your home. And
correct, since October of last year.
Okay, what was he? What was the issue?
The big issue was asthma, COPD, emphysema, chronic lung disease, and that's what he died from technically. There were other issues above and beyond that because Jim was 80.
He was 80.
Well, 79. I take that back. He was 79, and I'm only 55.
Well, that's a long life.
It is a very long life.
So you were blessed.
Yes, I was, and to have 18 years, very blessed. And this is the third relationship and the third loss.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, how old are you?
55.
Okay, so he's now, in terms of love, and in terms of our community, someone 80 and someone 55 is a big age
It
difference.
is a big age difference, and in our community, it's this whole daddy boy phenomenon thing
Hmm.
that we talk about, or a lot of us do, and we never really had that conversation. And I'm glad you asked that question among the first,
Hmm.
because we never talked about it. It was there. I was technically, you know, he teased me because we were married this last Valentine's Day of this year,
Hmm.
legally, because his health was so bad. But he would call me Mrs. Koenig from the time we married forward, in jest. And he would
Hmm.
introduce me to everybody as the Mrs. But boiled down, that's who I am, that's who I was, and I'm okay with that, and I accepted that and everything that went with that. But there were these perceptions that I had about how that I wasn't fully really seen for who I was and what I brought, and all of that. It was all perception. And there were things
Hmm.
that I wanted to say that I couldn't say for the longest time. And the day before he died, which was Thursday of just last week, um, I I was on my knees and he was sitting on the side of the bed, and I said, "I'm so sorry. I've been so short." Because it was
Hmm.
round the clock, 24 hours a day, 7-day week care here at home. And I said, I don't mean to be, but this is so hard to watch. This is so hard to see. It's been so slow on one hand, it's been so aggressive on the other. And then, Stephanie, I thought I would never say the words that I said because it was the one thing I was afraid of. And my head was in his lap and I was crying. And I hope listeners don't take it the wrong way when I say it, because I don't mean it that way. But I said, "I love you, Daddy."
Hmm.
Back to that comment. He put his hand on my head. He said the impossible that I thought he would never say. And that was, "You're such an incredible boy and have been." It brought such closure. And I knew then that that's who I was all along.
Hmm.
Didn't have to say it till the day before he died, but it confirmed he saw me for who I knew who I was, that I wasn't sure he did. And
Hmm.
since then, those simple words have brought so much comfort and pleasure and peace and understanding. And all of our friends, and I'm going to mention this at the memorial service this coming Saturday, that, and the thing I want your listeners to walk away with is, your perceptions are wrong. That's the first thing. Second thing, the things that you're afraid to say, can't say, feel like you can't say, need to say, want to say, please say them.
Hmm.
If your family cares for you and loves you the way you believe they do, they will say the thing that you want them to say the most. And it will bring you the same thing that it brought me. And hopefully, you have a heck of a lot more time than I did of just a day.
Hmm.
Because if I had said that earlier, it could have changed everything like it has now. And he's gone.
Hmm.
And I know that whole daddy boy thing is, for some people, such a controversy, and it has a whole connotation to it, good and bad. But in this case, it was nothing but positive.
Hmm. Now, can I just ask this question?
Sure,
Now,
you can ask anything you want, honey.
okay, when you talk about the daddy boy thing, we can have that conversation another time.
Right, correct.
Like
But
you
I mean,
said,
you asked the question about,
yeah, I understand, but what I wanted, I'm trying to say now about the daddy and the boy thing. I understand that being part of the LGBT community, but like you said, a lot of people in the world
don't.
wouldn't understand that,
Right.
and
And that's a
but
different conversation.
yeah, that's for
Very.
another one down the road.
Right.
We'll try to come up with a panel of people and discuss that.
I only brought it up because it brought so much comfort and joy
Mhm. I
having
understand. I understand. It
having
made
that.
you at ease and it made things
Yes.
more comfortable for you, and I understand.
Right.
Now,
And that our fears are really just that. And if we could confront those, whatever they are, whether it's your mother or your father or your children or grandchildren or whoever, we need to say we love them and how deeply. And I'm reminded since Jim passed away, if you've read Toni Morrison's book, Beloved, there's this
mhm,
line that thin love ain't love at all.
mhm.
And to
Yeah,
love thickly, love thick.
mhm.
And that's what
Now,
we had.
now, I want to talk to you about when you said you were on your knees and it was hard for you.
Well, on the floor, my head in his lap crying because
Mhm,
I was so sorry. It's hard taking care of someone like that. He was on
mhm,
oxygen. It was changing diapers. It was changing the pad on the bed. It was changing the bed with him in it. It was spoon feeding him. It was seeing this slow decline since last October till just Thursday. The last week was the fastest. We were only told on Tuesday by our nurse and my best friend, Kathy Hughes, and she's been my friend 52 years, mind you.
mhm,
We had 7 days, 7 to 10. So when I woke up Thursday morning and it didn't look like he was breathing or it was shallow, at the very least, I'm like, okay, we've got a little time yet. And the closer I walked to him, the more apparent it became that he wasn't. So when I realized that he had passed away, it was still such a shock. I mean, no matter how prepared you think you are, you never are.
mhm.
And
It must be, I mean, it must be very difficult
it
to
is.
take care of someone that you love
Well,
and they're
and for
in this.
and for 10 months,
Mhm.
10 months.
Now,
The last two of it, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In
mhm,
that last 2 weeks, it was about I was up awake because he was waking me up about every 2 hours because there was a baby monitor by the hospital bed and one in our master bedroom not that far away. But those
mhm,
last 3 days, I didn't even sleep in our bed. I was sleeping on the couch, not even 7 feet away from the hospital bed. So I
mhm,
could be closer so I could hear him because it was all lung issues. His breathing got so hoarse, it was hard to hear him. So I
mhm.
wanted to be closer to hear him if he needed anything, and that happened.
You know, I don't want to get into it too deep because we don't want the audience to sort of,
Tune
you
out.
know, we don't want them to
Yeah.
tune out. We want to sort of educate them about hospice care and about people who are in partnerships, and they're in these long-term relationships, and then they see their partner at the end of their lives, and
Right.
they have to sort of be the ones that take care of them and make sure that they're okay
Right.
and comfortable in the final hours of,
Right. Correct.
of what
And then we were able to stay at
life.
home because of that, because of
Hmm.
them. They,
Now,
they
they,
were only here an hour and a half every day, but let me tell you that hour and a half was so helpful, and I'm so grateful. And they made it easier to keep him at home, which is what he wanted, and I wanted. I mean, the last place anybody, I think, who no matter what they are or who they are, they don't want to go to a nursing home,
that's true.
and it's too costly. It's way too costly. At least here in
Hmm.
the States, it's horrific.
Hmm. Well, Charlie, I am really glad, but I want to ask you this because I think that it will be interesting for our audience to know because a lot of our community experience this, but they're scared to talk about it. You know, I say this in all fairness. When my parents were, mainly with my father, because I was the youngest and I was really close to my parents, but I was really close to my father in a sense of he was always talking to me, always trying to guide me. Always, and when he was dying, we were all there, and he had had this massive heart attack, and the doctors told us he's not gonna come out of this. And I could, when I was there, he was holding my hand, and I could feel the power. I don't know. I could feel something from him. And then when he passed away, I knew right away.
Hmm.
I felt it, and it was the strangest thing that I know I can understand what you're feeling in a sense of losing someone that you care about and that you love and that you had a connection with for so long.
Hmm.
How did it feel when you knew that he was gone? How did you feel? I mean, were you sitting right there?
No, I gave him his medication Wednesday night to help the breathing and make him comfortable. He was resting at that point, and of course, the medication makes you groggy and sleepy, but it also prevented these coughing spells and wheezing
Mhm.
spells, and they would last for hours. And he would get very agitated, and it was very difficult, and it was very painful to watch. So I gave that to him at 8 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday.
Mhm.
I went, lay down on the couch, and I was asleep by 9 o'clock. I woke up like 6:18 in the morning. By the time I got over to the bed, it was maybe 6:20. Felt, my finger under his nose, and he wasn't breathing. Put my hand on top of his, and he was ice cold. So I called, again, our best friend and my best friend and our nurse. And I'm like, Kathy, I think he's dead. He's not breathing. He's ice cold. She was out of the house by and had pronounced him dead at 7:15.
Mhm.
And that was very hard. And there was a small, very small sense of relief because he wasn't suffering.
Mhm.
But it was more like, okay, what am I going to do now? I can't believe he's gone. This has gone on for 10 months. We didn't even have the 10 days I had been told we might have. And it was all over with. And the hardest moment, Stephanie, the hardest of that day was by the time the funeral home arrived, and I decided we have a big porch that's enclosed on the front of the house.
Mhm.
And I sat there as they put him on the gurney and put him in the body bag and covered that up. I did not want to see any of that at all. That was
Mhm.
the last thing I wanted to see. And I was standing up by this antique settee that we have on the front porch, holding the side of it. And the front wheels came over the berm of the front door, onto the porch, and I collapsed
Mhm.
clean to the floor, sobbing and howling like I have never cried in my life for a good hour.
Well, Charlie, my condolences for you. I mean,
Thank you.
I can feel it from you. I can feel how, after being with someone 18 years and taking care of them, my condolences go out to
Thank
you and your
you.
family and to his family. You know, in the long run, being part of the LGBTYT community, it's great that we're hearing this story because we suffer a lot of these kind of things in silence.
Yes, we do. And
And
there's so much more to the story and so much more to ours because
mhm,
he has a brother that's left alive. I'm not going to say any names. I'm in a
mhm.
position I really can't. Um, but and it's more financial than anything because
Well,
things.
we don't need to
Right,
get
right.
to
Things
the
are
heavy part.
very complicated. But
Mhm,
his brother doesn't talk to him. My mother doesn't talk to, or my family doesn't talk to me since my mother died 4 years ago.
mhm,
So the only family I think, like a lot of us have, is created family.
mhm,
People that we bring into our lives that become family.
mhm.
And let me tell you something. And I know I'm preaching to the choir,
Mm.
but they have been everything. They have helped in so many ways since Thursday, including very dear friends of ours that are having the wake at their home in Cleveland. All I got to do is show up with Jim's remains in his box or urn or whatever it is, a picture of the two of us, and that's it. That's all I got to do. Everything else is planned.
Well, the good thing about
Stephanie, it's been amazing to have that.
the
And
good thing about all of that is support. The
yeah,
support that you have is amazing.
yes,
And it's
because I've been in the community for so long.
and it's strange now that it's strange now the church is now starting to take responsibility for some of the negative action it has taken against the LGBTYT community for so long. And the
Well,
fact
yeah,
that its
yes,
members, the
yes,
fact that it's the fact that
yes.
we have so much technology today to educate us about things we thought were true might not be true. And people are seeing things a lot differently for themselves. So they're able to make rational decisions behind their thoughts of helping other human beings
Right,
who
and that's a
may
yes.
be from a
That's
different
a
gender or sex or people that are just from a different culture.
right.
It's quite interesting.
I think that's a yes and no answer because I'm finding in a lot of the time that those that have it, and those that don't. And no matter what happens, those that don't still don't. And that the
Mhm,
rhetoric and the dogma and the bigotry and the hatred is still there. And that's a shame. It's
mhm.
a damn shame.
Well, Charlie, I say this all the time to people. You're lucky you got to 55.
Yes.
In the 1960s and 50s, we would be dead.
Yes. Well, Stephanie, it's funny you mentioned that because Jim told me a month ago, and I didn't know this story. At 14 years old, so this would have been, well, he was 79, so that would have been 55, 55 years ago now. So 55 years ago, a doctor came to the house that he grew up in. His father was very ill at the time. The doctor was very good looking.
Mhm,
Jim slipped a note in his pocket. The doctor called the police department. The police department came out and arrested Jim on indecency because the note said, if you're ever in need of, well, you can imagine,
mhm.
just come back. So he has a record that I didn't know about till a month ago, just 55 years ago. And when I posted on Facebook that he had died, I called him a pioneer because he is.
Mhm,
At 79 years old, he paved the way for you and I to be who we are. You and I
mhm.
are paving the way for the generation after us.
Yeah.
that generation is paving the one for after them. And what I'm finding is our stories, other than you, a lot of them are being lost.
Mhm.
And we need to tell those stories somehow.
Well, you know, Charlie, the world is so changed,
I hope.
but yet still the same.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to navigate our way through information that is that will help us in the long run. And it's just the whole internet thing is an amazing tool. The fact that I can be talking to somebody halfway around the world about issues that seem to affect us all is
Yeah.
an amazing thing. And at the end of the day, the fact that you are telling your story here to me and to our audience and to the world is an amazing thing. So we know that your story will be inspiring and educating because you are actually telling your story.
Right. And like I told you before we even started the interview, I said, none of us escape death. I have not met anybody yet, and none of us have for 2,000 years or more, if we believe
Oh.
biblical stories.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary ascended into heaven. I've not met anybody that has escaped it, and nobody will.
Mhm.
We all do it at
Mhm.
some point.
Well,
I mean,
you know what I like the most, Charlie? I like the fact that you were actually the fact that you took care of your partner in his final days, months, years, or whatever it was, the
for
fact
all
that
the
you actually did that. Most most people from our community would not have done that. They would have put them in hospice care and tried to, because sometimes our community can be very vain.
yes, and I did it 3 times.
And and the fact that you took care of him. I say this all the time. I take my wig off to you. The fact that you took care of the man that you loved for 18 years. You
But
took care of him in his final hours.
but
And
is
that's amazing.
but isn't that what love is all about, or,
Mm-hmm.
or should be? And that I,
And
and that I've done it now 3 times.
I mean, you were lucky you did it 3 times. Thank God I haven't had
I
to do it.
know.
I haven't had to do it once. I buried one of my very close friends. Um, his name was Reggie. He was like my first roommate that I had when I was going to school in Fort Lauderdale. And I miss him every day because he was just special. And
But
we weren't lovers, we were just really good friends.
right.
And he kept saying to me, one day you're gonna do great things. And I was like, and you should have saw my room. I had a little table, a little lamp, and a twin bed. And I thought, I'm gonna do great things. Look at this room. And to this day, I think about Reggie a lot.
But I think
And,
for
and,
our,
and
I think for our community, so many of us have lost so many to AIDS, depending on our
mhm.
age bracket. You and I have lost so many people to that darn disease.
Oh my God, you
And,
would
and, and at least this time around, it was lung problems and age problems. It was not AIDS. So it was
well,
very different.
it's a wonderful thing, the advancement of HIV
Yes,
treatments these
yes.
days. It's an amazing thing, and we all need to be thankful to God
Oh, I
because
am.
I mean, not just, I mean, you, other people around the world, we all should be thankful that we have these treatments to make sure people can live better and healthier lives, still contribute to society, and still live a normal life.
Yes, and it's a little painful having Jim die in July, because July 16th was my 30th anniversary living with AIDS.
Mhm.
So, and he wasn't even gone 2 weeks later. So it's a little hard. And then July is also the day, well, July 1st, 18 years ago, was the day we moved in together. So it's a little hard.
Mhm.
But it was
You
his
know, Charlie, let me say this
it was
for
his
you.
time, you know.
Mhm. Let me just say this for you. It's remarkable that you survived 30 years with
Yes,
AIDS.
I
I
know
know a
that.
lot. I have a friend that has survived now 38 years. And I say to him all the time, you know, you're blessed. You're
Hmm.
blessed the fact that you did something earlier on in your life that is why you're here
Hmm.
today. Not just for the advancement of HIV treatments, the fact that you actually took responsibility for your life and you wanted to live.
Right.
And at the end
And
of
I
the
think for him and I both that there's still something major to do.
mm-hmm.
Don't know if
And
that what
I'm
that
going.
is, but by God, I'm going to figure it out.
Mhm. Well, I have that show coming up on in within this season where we talk about with a group of people about where they are with their treatments, how long they have lived with AIDS or HIV, and we're going to have that conversation. It would be great to have you sit in on the panel
I
with
would love
us,
to, love
and
to.
we can talk about that. You know, I just want to say, you know, I take my wig off to you for taking care of your lover after 18 years. I mean, your partner, and taking care of him in his final hours. I know it's hurtful, but the fact that you took responsibility for taking care of the man that you loved and the person that you cared about. And regardless of what happens after the funeral, it's what happened while he was alive, and you took care of him until his till
Right, right. And for Jim, all he had was a few friends that are the same age he was. So all
mhm.
he had really to take care of him was me. And without me, Lord knows what would have happened.
Well,
Lord knows.
it's good that we don't have to think about what would
Right,
have happened.
exactly, exactly.
The fact that things are going good for you, the church stepped in to help you, regardless of how some of the members probably feel about the LGBTQ two-spirit pronoun community, and the fact that your friends in Ohio stepped up, to Cleveland stepped up to do the weight, to take some of the burden off of you, to show their support and
Yeah,
to show you that they care. This is an amazing thing.
yeah. I cannot be more grateful. Cannot be.
And the fact that you will find love again, and you life will go on, and Jim will not just be a part of have been a part of your life. He will be a memory until the day that we you leave this planet as well. And the fact that you had 18 years, whether they were good, bad, up and down, because this is a relationship, the fact that you guys lasted that long and he was in your life is an amazing thing. I wish I can get that. Somebody that can be with me 18 years.
Honey,
But
you'll find
I'm
it. You'll
I'm
find it.
I'm I'm not I tell people all the time, even my sister who's just really ridiculous. She's been married for like 40 years and she's really ridiculous. And but she always says to me, um, you love money. That's all you care about. So we know you're not going to be trying to get no man, because I can get I mean, it's easy to find a man, but for somebody to love you, and when you're successful,
It
and
takes
maybe they
real
just
work. It takes real commitment. It takes real energy. It takes
yeah.
compromise. It takes love. It takes sacrifice. It takes work.
Yeah, it takes work. And a lot of people aren't invested in doing the work. They want the quick fix kind of go thing with relationships. And the fact that you and Jim have a real love story. The fact that you've written many books,
Well,
you
three.
should write a book about a love story between you and Jim. Jim and I. A love story, a true love story.
I should, and thank you for that. I've now got 7 writing ideas.
Mhm. See? See? And I want to say thank you,
3 that
Charlie.
I'm actively working on.
Uh-huh. I want to say thank you today for being on the show. Um,
Could I
they
read
tried.
something I wrote? Could I
They
read
want me to
something I
keep the
wrote?
shows under 40 minutes. Um, so
Could I read something I wrote to Jim? It's short.
Oh, yes, please do.
Okay, so, 'tis sweetest nectar of life, your red-leafed lips, a smoldering kiss lingering, leading to another. Passion takes my breath away, again searing, burning my soul. Fingers caress my shirt collar, butterfly touches from your fingertips stray across the stubble on my face. Eyes searching mine, speak of love once again. Speak of lust more than just once. Speak of passion unending, having heard the need in your voice. I yield freely, willingly, to the tender pull, all falling away in thy eyes. Can you hear the beating of my heart? Palms against firm flesh, gliding, exploring, teasing. Words are not enough to explain the yearning, the longing to just be one, tenderly falling in your arms.
Oh, that's amazing. That really is. It almost, I don't want to cry here.
I'm not going to try to. I've been really good so far.
Yeah. So I
Really
wanted
close.
to say amazing. And Jim would love that. And
Well, it was a love note and a anniversary card.
that is amazing and beautiful. And you know, I just want to say thank you for being on season 2,
Thank
somewhere
you.
where I never thought I'd get
Well,
to.
you
And I want to say
have, and season 3 is coming, honey.
yeah. And I want to say thank you for sharing your story
Well, you're welcome.
about, you know, life after death, life during death, and the fact that you were compassionate, understanding, and the fact that you just did it. You did something a lot of people are afraid to do. And I take my wig off to you
Thank
for
you.
that
I
because
think I think it's something my grandma said, you got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
that's right, because life goes on.
Life goes on.
Life goes on. Or how do they say? The show must go on.
Yes.
And so I want to say thank you for sharing your story today, ladies and gentlemen. We had Mr. Charlie Dale Coney
Koenig.
on the show today. And we talked about the fact that he had a partner for 18 years who he took care of in hospice and he just passed away, and how he's dealing with it, and how a lot of us in the LGBT two-spirit pronoun community have a hard time sharing these kind of stories to help educate and inspire other people, because we sometimes live either in shame or we have a hard enough time trying to explain how we really feel about the person we love and they're dying, or death in general. So I just want to say thank you, Charlie, so much for sharing your story. And to our audience out there, hopefully Charlie's story have inspired you to just do it. Just be good to your partner, even till the end, because we all will face, in sometimes in our life, mortality. So be smart, be strong, be supportive, and just remember we're all fabulous. And being part of the LGBT two-spirit pronoun community, Charlie has lived with AIDS for 30 years. So if he can do it, you can do it. Take your medicine, stay strong, and try to love. Try to love and just live your life. And think bigger and better.
You have nothing to lose.
That's right. You have nothing to lose. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Pronoun TV and the Stephanie Stevens Show, season 2. You guys are amazing. We have a lot of amazing shows coming up for you. So thank you, Mr. Charlie Dale.
Thank you. I love you, Hanny.
Oh, thank you. We will talk to you again soon, and you have a blessed week.
Thank you. You too.